Prior to our Habitat home, it was a lot of moving around, usually once a year. It was a constant struggle and disrupting the kids' routines, and it was very hard.
My mom wouldn't have to take time from looking at her schoolwork to trying to find a new place. And that was a big part because she got to finish college after we moved in, which is great.
The biggest hurdle that we had was at the time I was renting a home with my 2 older sons. I was pregnant with my youngest son, and come to find out, the home was in the process of being foreclosed on. And that was a very hard time for us because we had no idea when they were going to come to, foreclose on the house. So I had looked into Habitat for Humanity and I had heard a lot about it, so I just decided, let's just go and talk to them and see what they say. What's the worst they could say is no. They said yes. I filled out the paperwork, the applications, and I was getting ready to have my son, so we had discussed it after having my son, and things were settled to come back to them so I could start my hours. So in the meantime, I had to move. And when my youngest son was a little bit older, I went back to Habitat and I started volunteering, working 2 jobs and taking care of the kids, and we made it. When you're a single mom and you have kids to raise and support, and you have to provide them with a good life, you just have to find the strength to power through it and move forward and focus at the light at the other end of the tunnel. Dedication Day was just the best day ever. I had brought the kids over the time that the house was being built, so they got to see the building process. So to come for Dedication Day and to see that the house was complete and like we were getting to move in, that was a wonderful experience for all of us.
We moved roughly around every year or so. It was always different places. I remember we lived in Northport, we lived in South Venice, and we also lived off of Shamrock. And all those places were kind of run down when we first got into them, and we only stayed in them a year, so we had to consistently pack light so that we could move our stuff around every so often.
Alex is my oldest, so of all the kids that remember the struggles of moving every year, and I remember the day that we moved in, he was just so excited he could barely contain himself. All kids need that structure and stability and routine, but you could really see he was more relaxed, he was more comfortable. He was a happier kid. Having a Habitat home it's meant the world to all of us, for my kids and also for me. And he's like, Mom, we never have to move again. And I'm like, that's right. We will never move again. Working 2 jobs, single mom, and doing all my requirements for Habitat. It was very exhausting. It was very trying at times, but with the support from everybody at Habitat, I was able to complete everything and move into our home. And then it was after we moved in and we were settled, and it was kind of like a build in self-confidence that, well, I can do this. I can really do anything I put my mind to. And about maybe 5 to 6 months after moving in, I went to college.
When she first started, she was pretty rough in her math, and I was in advanced classes in 3rd or 4th grade, so I was actually able to help her in the beginning, which was pretty neat.
It gave us like a place to stay so we weren't like going everywhere. It helped my mom finish her school.
Right now I'm in like AP Psychology and Anatomy. I'm not quite sure what I want to do after high school, possibly military. I'm still trying to figure out what I want to get my foot in. But I'm just sort of testing the water, see if anything sticks.
Going back to college was not easy. I had to take every non-credit class known to man. My oldest son, Alex, has been in the gifted program since the 2nd grade, and if it wasn't for him and him tutoring me, I would have never passed or survived any of my non-credit classes. The beginning of May, I got my AA degree, and then within a week, I got my acceptance letter into the occupational therapy assistant program at the State College of Florida. So then I did another 2 years full-time, and just May of 2018, I graduated with my degree in occupational therapy assistant, and then in June, I passed my boards, and in October, I started a fabulous new career, and life is good.
The first playground we had when I was 8, we had like a little rock wall and swing set. And that was a lot of fun, but over the years it had a little wear and tear. Eventually we just had to get rid of it because there were a couple hazards there for the little kids, you know. We'd be breaking off pieces and there'd be nails sticking out. So eventually we just scrapped it, and Habitat decided to help us build a new one. So that was a pretty neat day. Everyone came over, we helped build it, and when it was all said and done, it looked really great.
Habitat for Humanity gave me a house like this, and it gave me a place to play. It helps you a lot.
For anyone that's considering donating or contributing for Habitat for Humanity, I would say thank you for your consideration, and when making your final decision, remember that it's just not a check or a small donation that just is forgotten. It's something that lives on year after year, and me and my family and the home that we live in is proof of that.
And my mom was in tears of joy because we were finally getting into our house. We got a quilt and a toolbox, which are still helping us to this day. It's made quite the difference. It's changed just about everything for us. This Habitat house, despite just being a house, it's a little more than that. It's provided structure and security. We've had better neighbors and better friends than we've had in a while. Because normally when you're moving place to place, we don't really get too much time to get into contact. But we've been here for so long now that our neighbors are slowly becoming some of our best friends. That's exceptional. And the structures just provided us with a place to come home to, so that we don't have to bounce around, change schools, worry about any of that. We can just focus on what we need to do and how to move forward.